Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Jagannath Jai Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Saptashish Matudani Goswami His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Good morning, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class. We're reading from the 4th canto, entitled, anybody remembers? Yes, that's it. Creation of the 4th order. And we're in chapter 30, the activities of the Prachetas, text 43. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Pracheto Birabhishtuto Hari Iti Pracheto Birabhishtuto Hari Pritastatetyata Aha Sharanya Vatsala Pritastatetyaha Sharanya Vatsala Anichatang Yanam Atripta Chakshusham Anichatang Yanam Atripta Chakshusham Yayo Svadhamana Pavargaviryaha Yayo Svadhamana Pavargavirya Maitreya Uvacha Iti Pracheto Birabhishtuto Hari Pritastatetyaha Sharanya Vatsala Anichatang Yanam Atripta Chakshusham Yayo Svadhamana Pavargavirya Vaishnavas Maitreya Uvacha Maitreya Uvacha Pracheto Birabhishtuto Hari Pritastetyaha Sharanya Vatsalaha Anichatam Yanam Atripta Chakshusham Yayo Svadhamana Pavargaviryaha Vaishnavis Iti Pracheto Birabhishtuto Hari Iti Asteteyaha Sharanya Vatsala Anichatam Yanam Atripta Chakshusham Word for word translation. Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said. Iti. Thus. Prachetobi. by the Prachetas, Abhishtuta, being praised, Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prita, being pleased, Tata, so, Iti, thus, Aha, said. Shishi Jagnapadev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Shishi Gornitai ki jai, Sharanya, to the surrendered souls, Vatsala, affectionate, Anichatang, not desiring, Yanam, his departure, Atripta, not satisfied, Chakshusha, their eyes, Yayao, he left, Svadhama, his own abode, Anapavargaviryaha, whose prowess is never defeated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the protector of surrendered souls, being thus addressed by the Prachetas and worshipped by them, replied, May whatever you have prayed for be fulfilled. After saying this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose prowess is never defeated, left. The Prachetas were unwilling to be separated from him because they had not seen him to their full satisfaction. Purport. The word Anapavarga Virya is significant in this verse. The word Ana means without, Pavarga means the materialistic way of life, and Virya means prowess. The prowess of the Supreme Personality of Godhead always contains 6 basic opulences, one of which is renunciation. Although the Prachetas desired to see the Lord to their full satisfaction, the Lord left. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, this is an exhibition of his kindness to innumerable other devotees. Although he was being attracted by the Prachetas, he left. This is an example of his renunciation. This renunciation was also exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he stayed with Advaita Prabhu after taking sannyas. All the devotees there wanted him to stay a few days longer, but Lord Chaitanya left without hesitation. The conclusion is that although the Supreme Lord has unlimited kindness for his devotees, he is not attached to anyone. He is equally kind to his innumerable devotees all over the creation. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Once more the verse. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the protector of surrendered souls, being thus addressed by the Prachetas and worshipped by them, replied, May whatever you have prayed for be fulfilled. After saying this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose prowess is never defeated, left. The Prachetas were unwilling to be separated from him because they had not seen him to their full satisfaction. Okay, so we've come to the end of a long series of prayers. And the prachetas, after having done tapasya for a long, long time, being submerged in the waters, they prayed to the Lord. The Lord came to them and was very satisfied by them, first of all because they were following their authorities, especially their father, the great Prachina Barhi. And so he was very much inclined to give them benedictions. And actually, even before they started praying, he gave them the benediction that they can enjoy all the facilities of this world as well as the heavenly world. And then, after this, they will also develop unadulterated devotional service unto Krishna and be freed from all material contamination. So quite a boon, like the best of everything. First of all, enjoying to the fullest extent this material world, going up to the heavenly planets as well, enjoying there. And then after also getting the benediction to be freed from all material contamination and attain pure devotional service. Often this question is asked, now, what would you do if the Lord appeared right now here in front of you? What would you ask for? And if he offered you, you could desire anything. Any wish will be fulfilled. Would you say, okay, maybe, if I can have anything, then first of all, I would like to enjoy here a little bit, There's so many nice things also in this world. So let me do this, and then you can give me also pure devotional service after, Or would we desire only pure devotional service right here and now? It's a good question to ask, I think, every now and then, to kind of reflect even, what other desires are there in our hearts and what are we going to do with them. So, but the prachetas, they had only one desire. After they were praying and asking for more benedictions, they were saying that essentially what they want is to be in the association of pure devotees all the time. They want to have sadhu sangha because that's the main thing. As we know, we've heard this many times, that association with pure devotees is a very, very powerful thing and can give all perfection. And so that's also one desire that we should strive for, that we should cultivate in our heart earnestly, to yearn for the association of advanced Vaishnavas. Because from them we can get everything that we need and more, that we even don't know what we need. And Srila Prabhupada here in the purport, he mentions how the word anapavarga virya is significant. And he says ana means without, pavarga means the materialistic way of life, and virya means prowess. Have you heard about pavarga before? Prabhupada mentions it on different occasions. In Sanskrit alphabets, there is the vargas, which means basically, they organize it like in lines, you could say, for a visual picture. And it's all arranged according to where the sound is coming from. So the gutturals, then they are the, retroflexes and labials and dentals. So according to where the sound is produced, that's where the vargas are coming in. Hare Krishna. And so it's a very scientific language also, Sanskrit. You can tell from there that, it's not just like we just invented something, A, B, C, D, and so on. But in Sanskrit, it's very much inspired by the science of how sound is produced, going back to the point of how important sound is. But anyway, there's the pavarga, which is pa, ba, pa, ma, right? And these different letters, they stand for different words. You know which they are for? Prabhupada explains it in different places. Pa is... No, that's pa with H. It's a subtle difference. But pa is the first one. And it stands for parishrama. Parishrama means hard work. In this material world, it is said that actually the punishment for being in this material world is that we have to work very hard. Everybody has to work very hard. And because of that, pa, P-H-A, next varga is pena, exactly, and means foam, yeah. So foam, because of hard work, hard labor, foam is coming out of the mouth. And Prabhupada gives the example of the horse, no? When it's working very hard, you can see it very visibly, there's foam coming. But even with human beings, maybe they're not steaming and foaming so much, but they are, sweating, yeah, that's what I was looking for. And also, it's an experience that I very much make on Sankirtan. When you go out there, speak to people, they're always foaming. Steaming, they're being grilled and cooked from all sides. And so there's so much stress and anxiety and just exhaustion, really, from material life. So that's pena. And then ba stands for byarta. And that means frustration. So yeah, they're exhausted from the hard labor. And whatever they do, they still don't feel happiness. They still don't feel satisfied. So they become frustrated. And ultimately, from that frustration comes bhaya, fear. Because, yeah, they understand something is not quite right, Like, I want to be happy, but I'm not. I'm just frustrated. So, what can I do? Am I just going to suffer all my life? So there is this fear. It is described also in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is this? Payam ditviya binivesha tasyat ishadapetasya vipaya yosmritihi. It's a very beautiful verse where Krishna explains basically the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness, where he says, all fear is coming from this dvitiya binivesha. Dvitiya means two, right? And abhinivesh means there is a difference. So people think there is two entities, where in reality there is only Krishna. And everything is coming from Krishna. So whoever is in connection with Krishna, he has to have no fear, because he knows Krishna is anapavarga virya. He is never defeated by anything. In fact, he is the defeater of anything else. So if you connected with the indestructible, then how can you be in fear? So the devotee knows this, and because of this, he is fearless. Whereas in material worlds, fear is very common. And ultimately, at the very end, there is ma, which stands for... that could be. It doesn't say like this. Prabhupada doesn't say. He says mrityu. Death, yeah. So, but yeah, it's madness is a pretty common also event because of material life. But then eventually mrityu. So it means that we have to die, and again we will be cast into material world to go through the pavarga again of hard work, frustration, foam coming out of our mouths, and being fearful and then dying. So this is the repeated cycle of birth and death, which is also called pavarga. It's easy to remember. Pa, pa, ba, pa, ma. These different letters, they describe, sum up this material world. But Krishna, he's anapavarga virya. He's the one whose prowess is never defeated, Prabhupada says. And Srila Prabhupada also says, the prowess of the Supreme Personality of Godhead always contains 6 basic opulences, of one of which is renunciation. So we know Bhagavan means... Bhagavan means full of opulences, and the Acharyas describe 6 main opulences, and we always miss one. Fame, strength, renunciation, wealth, knowledge, renunciation, I said, no? Beauty, yeah, that's it, very important one as well. It's amazing how there's only 6 things, but I never can get it right. So, but 6 opulences of Krishna, and here the stress is on renunciation, but it's always good to meditate on his opulences. Krishna Prem Rupa Prabhu yesterday went a little bit into that also, how Krishna is Vasudev, he's all-pervasive, he's everywhere, situated everywhere. But these 6 opulences make him all attractive. Some people have some of these opulences in the material world, and they make them very attractive, but only Krishna has all 6 opulences. And that's in full. And that's why he's the most attractive entity that there is in this world. And it's interesting, we're the Krishna consciousness movement, so we focus on Krishna, but wherever you go, all the different yogis and even though they're Mayavadis or whatever kind of philosophy, there's always something about Krishna. And I was amazed to see that, you know, my mother, I told a story before, once I gave class here, about how my mother, she you know, when I joined, of course she was a little taken aback, but she's into spirituality and all that. So one day she was wondering, you know, this Hare Krishna mantra, what is it? And she chanted the mantra, but she never told me, only like 1 year ago, and that was when she chanted, was maybe 4 or 5 years back. So 1 year ago she said, yeah, you know, I also once chanted this mantra, but I never chanted again. And I was like, okay, why? And she said, because it was so intense, something happened to me. And I was afraid, you know, that what's going to happen if I'm going to continue with this, basically. So she could feel, you know, that if you start doing this, yeah, it will have serious implications for your life. So she didn't continue. But what she did is, interestingly enough, you know, she became vegetarian, as well as my brother also. And my father, he has some way to go, but she started taking up different spiritual practices. She started doing yoga, but more like Tibetan yoga and things, and she reads all kinds of literatures. Never the Bhagavad Gita, I told her so many times, but she never really dared to read. At least she read Chai Shetty, you know, and Armin Risi. She's a fan of Armin Risi. So anyway, somehow or other, I don't know how this happened, but she came in contact with transcendental meditation. Maybe you've heard about that, yeah? There's this Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and Mayavadi basically. He was also, at the time actually when Prabhupada was there. In fact, Balavanta Prabhu describes the story, the disciple of Srila Prabhupada, how once one of Maharishi's top men came to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was sitting, you know, in his room behind the table. And this boy came in and he told the devotees that, you know, he wants to surrender to Srila Prabhupada. So the devotees were very much intrigued and they found, wow, this will be a game changer, you know. Now the Maharishi people, they all come to us and, you know, we can really convert so many of them and, you know, bring them to Krishna. So they thought. That's why they brought him to Srila Prabhupada to give him his darshan. Srila Prabhupada was sitting there, and so this boy told him that, you know, he was asking Maharishi to go deeper. He wants to know more about what is spiritual life, really, the absolute truth. And Maharishi said, then you have to go to Srila Prabhupada of the Hare Krishna movement. And so he went, and that's what he told Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was sitting there, and he was just listening. The boy went on that, you know, Maharishi, he said that he's just qualifying people so that they can take up bhakti under guidance of a pure devotee. And that's why he sent me to you. And Prabhupada was just listening, sitting there. And the devotees were all like, wow, amazing. But Prabhupada was just sitting, and eventually the boy stopped speaking. And Prabhupada opened his eyes and he said, he's bogus. Just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That's all he said. And I don't know what actually happened to this guy or other Maharishis. But it's interesting that Prabhupada was just, you know, very renounced also in this. He showed this renunciation also, that Krishna shows that we don't need, you know, recognition of these other yogis and so-called important personalities of this world. We just chant Hare Krishna and we are happy. So you also do that, but, you know, no need to kind of go into this further. So it would be interesting what happened after. Balavanta Prabhu didn't go into it. Anyway, back to the point that my mother also got involved with transcendental meditation. And what they do there, and Prabhupada describes it often, they sell mantras. You know, Prabhupada always smashes these people who sell mantras for money to make a business out of it, basically. And it's also very expensive. So my mother went there, she got this mantra also. And she bought this mantra. And she told me this a few years back, I don't know, maybe a couple years, 2 years back. And I asked her, what's the mantra? You know, I was interested. What do they chant? And she said, no, I can't tell you. They told me I can never tell anyone. But yeah, so over the course of these 2 years, she was chanting quite regularly, as it appears. And they should do 2 times a day, 15 minutes. So now this time I was visiting my mother, And somehow we came to this topic. She brought it up that she's meditating. I asked, what kind of meditation do you do? And she said, yeah, I'm chanting this mantra. And I asked, and I didn't ask, but she said by herself, it's Shyama, Shyama. And I said, you mean Shyam? And she's like, Shyama, Shyama, Shyama. And I said, yeah, Shyama, that's the name of Krishna, Shyama Sundar. You know, that's the meaning of the mantra. And she said, oh, that's the meaning, I never knew. And I said, yeah, they don't explain what the mantra means. They just give some mantra and whatever. So I said, Shyama, it's the name of Krishna. And that's why, you know, that's a very good mantra to chant. Please continue. So all these 2 years, she has been chanting Shyama, Shyama, Shyama. So I was quite amazed. And that's how, you know, Krishna is most attractive, even to the people that don't know who he is or read the philosophy behind it. They can feel, they get something out of it. That's why she's been doing it for 2 years now. So I was very happy to hear. This is the all-attractive nature of Krishna, and here Prabhupada is focusing on the aspect of his renunciation, that Krishna is also the most renounced personality. And of course, it's a very attractive feature, renunciation. We see it in many of our devotees as well. That's how it's reflected in this material world, pure devotees especially. Like Srila Prabhupada, right? Once he gave darshan and different people came, and I think it was in India. So the first gentleman came and he gave him a nice Hublot watch, a very expensive watch, maybe cost like $2,000 or $3,000, quite expensive, especially at the time also. And Prabhupada puts it on and is very happily looking at it and saying thank you, you know, appreciating the gesture of this guest. And another person comes and gives him a Rolex, which is even more expensive. It's like maybe $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, who knows. And Prabhupada takes off the other watch, the Hublot watch, and gives it to some devotee, puts on this watch, and is very happy and thanks to the other person. And then a few minutes later, another person gives him another watch. So he got a lot of watches this day. And it was a Seiko, a Japanese watch that was maybe like 300 francs, dollars. And Prabhupada was very happy. He put off the Rolex, gave it to some devotee, and put on the Seiko and thanked the devotee very appreciatively. And you know, the devotee who got all the watches, he was quite surprised. And Prabhupada actually told him, give this watch to this devotee, give that watch to that devotee. He didn't keep them for himself. And this devotee was really amazed that, wow, Srila Prabhupada is so renounced. He doesn't care, What he cares about is this exchange of love, these gestures that the devotees make to interact and show their love. So yeah, the pure devotees, they have this renunciation. Whatever comes to them, they use as a service for Krishna. One example, when I was with my Guru Maharaj, then it was his Vyas Puj day, and we were in Vrindavan, and it had been a long day, and in the evening it was announced that there will be kirtan at Bibi Govinda Maharaj's house in Vrindavan, so in Radharan Baghicha it's called. And so many devotees came. It's always pretty packed there actually. So many devotees came, and it was announced he will walk over from the MVT. So even on the way, many devotees came, and as it is custom, many devotees gave him like envelopes with Lakshmi, right? You give some dakshina, especially on appearance day of saintly personalities. So we were walking, and many people came up, gave some envelopes, and Maharaj gave these envelopes to me at some point, and then the kirtan was starting, so we were sitting there, we were chanting, I don't know, maybe 100, 150 devotees there. And kirtan ended, and many more devotees, they came and gave envelopes, and Maharaj kept giving me the envelopes. So I had like quite a lot of envelopes there. I don't know how much Lakshmi exactly it was, but it was quite something. And after this, right next to where Govinda Maharaj lives, there's some Baba there, who is quite an amazing personality. He's also coming from some Hatha Yoga line, but his spiritual master was seeing that he had so much taste for chanting the holy name. So he told him, okay, you go to Vrindavan and just retire there and make your main service to serve prasadam to all the devotees that come for pilgrimage. So that's what he's doing. All day since, I don't know how many, 20, 30 years, he's just serving prasadam to the sadhus there. Imagine what a service. So he has a little kitchen there, he has a little team. He lives very, very renounced, also very simple. But he invited Shiva Maharaj to go there to have dinner prasad after the kirtan. And so we went there, Govinda Maharaj came, and we were maybe like 10 devotees. And we went in there. And then he asked for the envelopes. And so I gave him all the envelopes. And he just gave all of them to this Baba. It's just like all the Lakshmi, that he had gotten. And it must have been, I don't want to speculate, but yeah, a few $100 easily. Just like that. So this renunciation is amazing to witness also, because sometimes we feel, especially like, the big gurus, sannyasis in our movement, they get so much Lakshmi, what are they doing with it? Oh, they're so attached and they want to just, develop things for themselves. But in actuality, they just want to serve. They see it as an energy of Krishna that they can use in service. And so to see this, is very inspiring also, to understand this is renunciation. They don't need these things, but of course they are very happy to get it, to use it in Krishna service. As Srila Prabhupada also, right? He was getting so much money and dealing with so many properties and things, but he always saw himself as a penniless man, basically. He always saw himself just as the accountant of Krishna and using everything that came for the service of Krishna. So renunciation is very, very attractive. If you see it in a personality, it really makes you attracted. Also on Sankirtan, I have this feeling that if I'm renounced in a sense of detached of the outcome, then the people are very happily taking also. And also, when it comes to donation on the streets, for example, at the end of the interaction, when we give books, we ask people, can you give something for the printing costs? If you can give some more, it's for a temple. We have a temple, we have nice programs, please come and also see for yourself. So like that, and sometimes people are just, so happy that we are still here, for example, or just that there are people seriously taking to spiritual life, practicing this, something that is almost extinct, that they are serious practitioners of any sort, and that they have such an enthusiasm and taste for the spiritual life. This enthusiasm is very contagious. So anyway, they give nice donations. The other day, I was in Altstetten. I also met Nico Hischier. I don't know if you know him. He's an NHL pro, and I didn't know him, but I didn't understand who he is. He said he's Nico. I said, oh, Nico, nice meeting you. And we were talking a little bit like that, and he said, yeah, I'm doing meditation because I do sports. And I said, oh, okay, where do you play? And in New Jersey. And I said, oh, okay. So in the first team? And yeah, in the first team. I said, wow, okay. So what's your second name? And then he said Hischier, and then I understood, I heard his name somewhere. He must be quite somebody. And it turns out, I Googled afterwards, and he's like, just 2 days ago he arrived in Switzerland because Swiss national team brought all the stars from the NHL, I think 4 Swiss players, they came here and all that. And he just made up a contract for 7 years with these New Jersey Devils. Funnily enough, they called the Devils. Anyway, so he made this contract for 7 years for a total wage of $50 million. So over the next 7 years, he will earn $50 million. So anyway, just at the side, I gave him a book, but of course he didn't have money. He didn't have any cash with him. But he said, oh yeah, he will surely give something online. So watch out, whoever's in charge, maybe there's something coming. But just after him, then I met one guy and I spoke to him a little bit, and he said he had lived in a monastery in Thailand for 4 months, and it was an absolutely life-changing thing. And so he was really appreciative that I'm a monk and doing this. And then I gave him the books, and he happily took them, and he looked for a donation. He opened his, zipper. He just took out the note and gave it to me. He said, oh, that's all I have, I'm sorry, I cannot, it's the only note I have. have a nice day, maybe we see each other again. And he left, and the note was a 100-franc bill. He was like, oh, that's all I have, just take this. Just like that, So it's quite amazing. And immediately, if you see somebody so renounced, who just can give, he didn't look like a very rich person or something, but he was renounced. He understood that this is valuable, and so, he wanted to support. So it's immediately creating some Shri Shri Jagannapadev Subhadra Devi ki jai. Sri Sri Gauranitai ki jai. So if somebody's that renounced, it immediately creates some attraction that, wow, he's a nice person. So in this way, even in this world, if somebody's renounced, it's very attractive. So what to speak of Krishna? And there are different examples of Krishna being renounced. And of course, it's also a wide term. What examples can you think of when we speak of Krishna being renounced? Where in some Leelas or stories Krishna shows renunciation? Yes, of course, right. So Krishna is dancing with the gopis, but then at some point it just disappears. Even though, it was the most pleasurable thing. So there he showed renunciation, and it's always for a purpose, of course. We will get to speak about that more. Why is he doing it, right? That's also a question. Other things, where other stories, happenings with Krishna?
Well, he's going to purchase some fruit, and he has some grains which he can fit in his palm, and he trades it for just a basket full of jewels with the fruit vendor.
Right. Although there he kind of, first it's grains and then it transforms into jewels, right? So it's kind of another opulence. It's showing his wealth, kind of, that he can, create wealth out of anything and gives it to his devotees. But yeah, very, with an open heart, he's giving everything. So he's renounced also in that sense. You have another example?
Krishna killed Kamsa. He was given the opportunity to rule the kingdom, but he renounced and gave it to Aggressor.
Right. Totally detached of, controlling things, ruling things. I was thinking also of the example of being renounced, to influence others. For example, with Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, right? He spends a lot of time and teaching him and, giving him all these instructions. And then he says, Yatecha Sita Takuru, now do whatever you want, I'm giving you all opportunities. So he leaves us the free will. It's also a big renunciation. He could be, micromanaging, controlling us. He could demand the love in one sense. And of course, then it would be not real love. We can discuss that, but like that. So yeah, there's many examples like this. And here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the story of Lord Chaitanya when he was, after he took sannyas. This renunciation was also exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he stayed with Advaita Prabhu after taking sannyas. So of course, in one sense also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's the personification of renunciation, right? His whole pastimes come to this point of him taking sannyas, and after that, how he's traveling around, just renouncing everything to spread the holy name and Krishna's glories. So even when he's taking sannyas, he's renouncing all his loving devotees there, Sachimata, such an incredible relationship they have, and they forever, she's his eternal associate also. But as Prabhupada is also saying here, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Lord left because he wants to be kind to his innumerable other devotees. So he leaves some devotees to go see other devotees. So, of course, you could ask, so why is he not just expanding himself, and just... But there's more to that. So, but Lord Chaitanya leaves his home, his pastime place of Navadvip to cross the river to go to Katwa to take sannyas there. And there's Nidai Ghat, right, where it said, Nidaya, he's showing no mercy whatsoever. He's just leaving, he's renouncing everything. But leaving back the devotees there, he gives his association to others. And basically, if he had not done that, that if he had just stayed in Navadvip, then who knows what would happen, you know. There would be no spreading of the holy name like he did then. And maybe the message would have never reached here, to Australia or to Zurich. So that's how it started. His sannyas basically enabled the holy name to spread. And then he goes, after taking sannyas, he comes back from Katwa and he's going to Shantipur, seeing his devotees there, Advaitacharya, who is of course very happy. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat is very beautifully described how Mahaprabhu is walking, and he left everybody behind, right? He went alone and he wanted to be alone. So, but then he came to Advaitacharya, and Advaitacharya receives him very grandly, and he gives him, washes his feet. And at that time also, Nityananda is coming with Shrivas, and they're seeing Mahaprabhu, and of course they're in ecstasy. They start chanting and dancing, and the Lord also, probably his feet were not even properly washed. He got up and he started dancing. He embraced all the devotees, and everybody was just in total ecstasy. They did kirtan, and it's described, you know, it's always so vividly described in Chaitanya Bhagavat also how they danced. And when they danced, what happened? They fell down, they got up, they embraced each other. They were running after each other's feet. You know, they were just jumping up and down, and then again they would roll on the ground like that. It was like total madness, just to imagine. And in this madness, Mahaprabhu then, he sat down on Vishnu's throne. It is described that in Advaitacharya he had a big asana where Vishnu would sit. And he sat there. And he started speaking. And this is not so much present in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but in Chaitanya Bhagavat, many times it is described how the Lord reveals his identity. And there he's saying, you know, I am he. He's always saying, I am he, I am that Krishna, I am that Rama, I am that Nrsingadev, and I come in all these forms. And in this way, you know, he increases the ecstasy of the devotees, of course, who are just like, you know, imagine. Mahaprabhu comes in and he sits here and he just starts, you know, speaking about himself as being Krishna. And how can you not go mad? So then Mahaprabhu, he also says, he says that he will never leave his devotees, and he explains why he's actually coming to this world. You know, there's different reasons. But what he also says here is that although I'm fully independent and my activities are also independent, it is my nature to be controlled by my devotees. All of you associate with me birth after birth. He says to the assembled devotees, you know, I incarnate in this world for your sake. So he's saying, I'm only coming for you, basically. For my devotees, I come to this world. Know for certain that I do not leave you to stay elsewhere for even a moment. And all the devotees, of course, began to cry. So imagine you're sitting here and Mahaprabhu is telling you, I just come for you. I just want to see you. That's why I'm coming to this world. It's so beautiful, no? Imagine. And so then, after this, everybody's in ecstasy, and Advaitacharya serves lunch, and there's this whole pastimes of Nityananda and Advaita eating together. Advaita serving and Nityananda and Mahaprabhu eating together. And Nityananda is going into his Avaduta role. And they complain about each other like they always do, Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu. And after that Mahaprabhu says, okay, now I'm going to Nilachal. Enough, you know. So, you know, total ecstasy. Everybody's in ecstasy. They just got to see him again after he's taking sannyas, and right after that, next moment, Mahaprabhu says, no, now I have to go to Nilachal. I have to leave. And all the devotees start crying again, you know. They're always crying and crying. But then Advaitacharya, he understands, you know, who can stop Mahaprabhu? He says, all obstacles are your servants. So who has the power to place obstacles before you? So that's why, you know, you have to go, and we will let you go. And Mahaprabhu is very happy, and he departs. And the devotees are staying back, just like the prachetas, who are saying here, they had not seen him to their full satisfaction, which anyway is impossible to see the Lord to one's full satisfaction, because there's always more nectar coming. You always get more and more satiated by the nectar. So, of course, the question arises then, why does Krishna leave his devotees behind like that? And many reasons are there to see his other devotees. But one main reason also is that he just wants to increase the desire and affection of the devotees to be with him. And that's the whole science behind Sambhoga and Vipralamba. Right? Guru Govinda Maharaj often speaks about this as one of his main topics. How the separation keeps the union fresh. And in this way, Krishna consciousness is always separation and meeting with Krishna. And when apparently leaving, it creates in the devotees a feeling of intolerable pain and intolerable distance of the Lord. But then, more and more, they take solace by meditating on Krishna and going deeper into that meditation of how they will meet again next time. They feel great ecstasy. And so that's a whole topic in itself. We cannot really go into it. But it's really something that we should also try and cultivate, to always feel this anxiety to be with Krishna, and to understand that we have to really increase this eagerness to be with him, to serve him, to associate with him, and that this is possible right now and right here. What we're doing every day, our Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, is to get us to the point where we have spontaneous attraction to really understand that only this will actually satisfy Krishna also. He also says, right, in Chaitanya Charitamrita that, how does this verse go? Aishvarya Gyanete Shabha Chagatamishhrita Aishvarya Shitila Preme Nahi Mora Prita, that the whole universe is filled with this Aishvarya. Everybody worships God, but because of Aishvarya, because of their feeling of God is so great and powerful. But Krishna says, Nahi Mora Prita, this love that is mixed with Aishvarya, with this feeling of awe and reverence, is not really pleasing me so much. I want the pure, unadulterated, spontaneous love, that they are just loving me because of who I am. And so Krishna knows exactly how to trigger that in us. And in this process that we got from our acharyas, from Srila Prabhupada, that's what we learn, to practice, to develop these feelings. And so we should always keep that in mind, that the goal of our practice is to get to this point where we really, really have no other desires than to just serve Krishna, and whatever happens, Ashlishyava Padaratampi Nashtu Mam, if he's here or not, if he embraces me or if he kicks me in the face, he will always be my beloved Lord. So yeah, these were some thoughts I had. Thank you very much for listening. We have 2 more minutes if anybody would like to comment, make a point on the Lord's renunciation or anything else. Mm-hmm.
My question is, with renunciation, you said we'll also renounce, but we're renouncing for a higher taste. So, but Krishna is already the higher taste. So, with his renunciation, what does that mean for us? Like, we are renouncing for a higher taste. But Krishna, why is that a big opulent sort of thing?
Why is it an opulence for him to be renounced? Because if we renounce, then we do it because we know there's something better. Yeah, okay. Interesting question. I mean, for one point, I would say, like we said before, renunciation is just very attractive for the soul, because we know even though this person has everything, he doesn't really need it. He's satisfied by himself. So that's just from the outside is very attractive. But then also, I think, Krishna renounces also for a higher taste in one sense. Why does he do it? It's because he understands it increases the attraction of the living entities to him, so it will enhance this love between him and the spirit soul. So in this way, it's a real opulence of Krishna to be renounced, because it intensifies the love. Because that's always the question, right? Like Krishna also, he does immoral things, apparently. Why does he do that? Is it just because he wants to show that he's God and, how powerful he can do anything and everything? No, the purpose lies not in that, but the purpose in everything is to increase the love of the jiva for Krishna, of the fallen conditioned soul. So when he does these things like, dancing with others' wives or things like that, stealing butter, it's to enhance that love, that taste, because it's so fascinating and so inconceivable, so wonderful, that it brings out this love in the devotee's heart. So also, similarly with this opulence of being renounced, because it enhances this love, that's why it's an opulence. So all these opulences, they're there to bring out this love, and that's why they're important. That's why they have value. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Just down the stairs. Yeah.